I'm breaking down Marx and the Bible by liberation theologian Jose Miranda. This is chapter 4. This chapter is about law and judgment. Since Christianity is oriented toward a last judgment, it's important to know what judgment meant in an ancient Jewish context. Most people who read the book of Judges, for instance, will ask themselves, why are they called judges? We don't see them judging any legal cases here. In fact, some scripture passages become nonsensical if we translate the Hebrew word safat through that lens. One example Miranda cites is 2 Samuel 18:19. I must run and tell the good news to the king that Yahweh has judged him from the hand of his enemies. Judged him from his enemies? No, saved him from the hand of his enemies. Miranda argues that our modern juridical sense of judging arose later out of the original true meaning of the word, which was to save someone out of oppression. In a general anthropological approach, we could have already supposed it's obvious that when in human history the function of judge was conceived, it was exclusively to help those who because of their weakness could not defend themselves. But because of the biblical usage of the root shafat, such a theory is no longer mere theory and conjecture. So law and judgment as human institutions were meant to save the downtrodden, but they have failed to do so. And too often, in fact, they are used to grind people down even further. Here is where Miranda turns to the Apostle Paul. Just like the ancient Jewish tradition that he emerged from, Paul is focused on definitive justice for the whole world. And he is vehement in his insistence that law has no ability to bring that justice. From Galatians 3, if we had been given a law capable of giving life, then truly justice would come from the law. And Paul is not only referring to the law of Moses, but to all law, which he sees as part of the structure of worldly civilization thoroughly corrupted by sin. From Miranda, Paul wants a world without law. Exegesis which avoids this fact makes an understanding of the Pauline message impossible. Neither Kropotkin, nor Bakunin, nor Marx, nor Engels made assertions against the law more powerful and subversive than those which Paul makes. Paul is convinced not only that the law has failed in human history in its attempt to achieve justice, but that justice cannot be achieved in the world as long as law exists. It is only through the judgment of God who sent the crucified Jesus that perfect justice can be brought to humankind. By raising him from the dead, God showed that the one whom the law and the civilization controlled by the law condemned as impious was indeed just. For Paul, this action of God is God's supreme revelation. It is the revelation of the justice of God in absolute contrast with the justice of human civilization and law in which sin has been incarnated. In light of the failure of the law and the truth of the resurrection, Paul demands that a side be taken. Miranda ends the chapter with this explanation of Paul's stance. It is a question of believing in this God more than in civilization and law. Faith is an irreversible break. Either or. I'll break down the fifth and final chapter of the book soon. May God's kingdom come.